Hello all and welcome to the 8th session of noise and vibration tools and applications that we are doing. In the last session, we tried arranging a demonstration wherein a microphone and an accelerometer were configured around a rotating equipment, typically a motor, and we showed how these connections are made to a data acquisition system. For today, we will show a little more in detail wherein the same configuration along with how a real-time data is acquired, what are the parameters to set, and what else can be visualized as you are acquiring the data will be demonstrated. So here is one of the sets of menus on a typical data acquisition platform. To begin with, even though many of these are standard parameters, to begin with, we need to look at the bit rate or the amplitude resolution that you would like to acquire. By default, many of these platforms put the highest bit rate possible. Here you see a 24-bit being set up, and then this could be lowered to 16-bit or 12-bit depending on the choices available. One thing to understand from the bit rate is this is deciding the amplitude resolution, which means the quality of data or the number of points in the time data, which means it has got a direct effect on the size of the files, the acquisition size, and thereby the memory required to store. So once the bit rate could be set, and the next obvious thing is to set up the frequency bandwidth or the highest frequency that you would like to acquire, starting assuming that the lowest frequency is 0 up to what frequency you would like to acquire for a particular acquisition. So in this pop-up menu, you see there are a lot of choices to select from. The lower frequency that it shows is 32 Hertz, but you can scroll down going up to 25,000 Hertz. So depending on your application, depends on bearing analysis or balancing or what you are trying to do, you choose the most suitable frequency bandwidth. And as you choose the bandwidth, the sampling frequency is set up automatically. So once you set that up, what you have next is how long you would like to record a particular data. Here you see 30 seconds are being set that you would like to acquire or record data from all the channels or all the inputs that are coming in. But this is your choice of putting this to sometimes hours together depending on the memory size or the disk size that you have in system. Most of these days you have options to choose where the data should get recorded. Some of them becomes autonomous, that the data acquisition hardware itself has a lot of memory area, but equally the connected laptop or the computer that you are using can also have the data recorded. So you are going to set up how long you want this timed recording to be done. Once this setup is done, now is to choose how many input channels or how many physical parameters that you would like to make measurement with for the particular configuration. So here on the left side, you see those tick marks on this left side, which is showing how many channels are chosen for acquisition or how many channels are configured. So it depending on the provisions on your hardware, this shows about 16 input channels plus 2 of the TACO or the speed channels or the RPM channels. So you are at, or the user is at liberty to choose the number of physical acquisitions he has to make, and whatever related parameters to that are to be set up to make the configuration complete. In this case, I have configured 2 channels, one for vibration and one for the noise, and they are automatically showing as vibration and acoustics. But I can also go ahead choosing multiple channels as 1 to 8, 1 to 12, depending on what all I have connected. So after choosing the number of channels, the next obvious step is to choose the sensitivity. Each type of transducers, like the microphones, the vibration sensors, sometimes the force and the pressure sensors, have their engineering units calibrated to the voltage or the current output that gives. In this case, these are the voltage output type sensors or transducers. So here you see typically for microphone, I have put 51.12 millivolts per Pascal. So this will relate the engineering units to the voltage that it gives out. So that makes a kind of calibration or a one-to-one correlation of the physical parameter that you measure and the equivalent voltage that you want to consider. So this can be set up for various inputs depending on what type of transducers that you are using. There are also some of these setup that allow the transducer electronic data sheet, typically called the TEDs, wherein the calibration or the sensitivity values are saved into a data sheet inside the transducer, which can be read from the software directly. Will be a lot useful when you have large counts of measurement, like hundreds of measurements simultaneously. If you are doing, having this electronic data sheet built into the transducer will be a very useful tool. So moving on from there, that we have made the sensitivity setting, then one other step that one needs to see is the type of these transducers. So there are IEP or ICP transducers, direct voltage output transducers, and sometimes even charge based transducers as well. So one needs to set up this as well. Of course, once you set up and save it into a project file, all these data are readily available in case you are repeating a test, or it's the same test that you want to do on and on. So that is the one last setup that you need to make. So once this configuration is made, we are almost ready for the data acquisition. So here is your two windows to observe the time data. The same windows with different configurations can be used for looking at time data, looking at other formats like the Fourier transformed graphs, sometimes octave files, octave data, and so many. So to begin with, because this is a real-time data that we are arranged or configured to visualize, we see now how the time data comes here. This is the top graph, or the top window is for the vibration, and the bottom window that's showing the live real-time noise data. And once this is acquired parallelly, you can record the data, visualize the data, and then do rest of the parallel processing sometimes to see other formats that, like, you would like to convert this time data into a real-time Fourier transformed data, like the FFT graph or the octave and one-third octave graphs, particularly for the noise data. All these could be visualized as you are seeing this now on the screen. So to kind of consolidate or conclude, this demonstration is to show how all these multiple data acquisition systems are available, some of their features, and then a basic setup of what are all the parameters to be configured to acquire and visualize both the time data and some of the processed data. Hope this demonstration was informative. Thank you very much.